Let's raise some money for those who need help, and 100% of it goes to those in need. Can't stress that enough. And thanks to everyone for tuning in. You're watching Asses in Seats. So let's get into our first guest here. Yeah. I think she has joined us. And Rich, our tech master here, is going to invite her into the show. And we're going to talk about all things publicity and why it's so important.
Let's bring in Aliya Crawford, yo.
Yes, let's do it. And we should also mention that Aliya is part of the Recording Academy, too, in Philly.
Do we got you? Do we freeze? Did we get you? Oh, wow. How did that even happen? I don't even know how that happened.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Steph. I was here, and then I think I accidentally hit my screen, and it opened another app. So.
Well, hey.
All good.
Welcome back to Asses and Seats.
Woo! Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. How are you? How are you all doing?
We're great. We're great. Mitch is in Utah. He's playing some shows with the Bacon Brothers, as in Kevin Bacon.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. I love Kevin Bacon, you know, and he's from Philly, right? Or the Philadelphia area, so.
Yeah, grew up in the area. He's just a tremendous dude. He's really you know, people don't really understand kind of the caliber of songwriter and musician he actually is. And him and his brother have had 30 years. They're like 30 years. They've been writing music since they were 16 and like 15 together. And it's like real sick. I'm like really blessed to be doing this right now. And, you know, talk about someone that's been in the public eye for so long. And now, you know, with what you do, just from a simple perspective, can you talk about how your job brings eyes and brings a visibility to what people are doing and how that shapes their career?
Absolutely. Well, I think, you know, I was already introduced, but I'm Aliya Crawford, and I am an entertainment publicist. I'm a senior vice president at W&W Public Relations, a firm that has been in business since 1991. And publicity, for those who don't know, publicity is an arm of marketing. It falls underneath marketing, and it's called basically it's what is considered to be free or earned marketing, because as opposed to spending money to advertise through commercials, print ads, digital ads, etc., your PR arm or your PR person or department or company, they're going to, their job is to secure media opportunities for the client without them having to pay for them. So you get that same space with, you know, on a media outlet or within a media outlet that people pay for through an ad. You get that same space through an interview or a feature story or an album review. So, you know, you pay your publicist, or you pay your PR firm, or you pay your PR department. They create public relations strategies for you, publicity strategies for you. They create angles so that the press would be interested in talking to you about. They put together, you know, the targets that are going to be relevant to your particular demographic, your core audience, and they, you know, create pitches and stories that should be of interest, hopefully, to the media and to the public. And then they go out here and they pitch these stories, and then you get that promotion. So it all falls under, you know, the umbrella of marketing.
How did you get into this? And you know, the storytelling aspect, is that something that excites you, and do you get to work on that aspect of what you're doing?
Absolutely. The storytelling is key. And I always say to clients and others, you know, artists and talent, that it's all about narrating your story in your own words. That's what publicity really is telling your story to the public in your words and how you want to be seen. It's about how you want to be, it's how you want to convey yourself to the public, right? And that goes along with your image, your messaging, your story. So I think publicists are very integral to the storytelling of an artist or group or brand. And how I started, I've been in the business over 20 years, going on 30 years probably, because I got into entertainment and media in college. I went to Temple University. I'm a graduate of Temple, and I started there, TU baby. I started at Temple's radio station, being a reporter and a producer. I majored in film and media, so at that time I was also freelancing on film and TV projects and commercials and things like that. I did an internship program in LA and got to work for a music video production company and a talent agency, and some really great professionals and accomplished individuals there. And that was great experience all the time, working on different independent films and student films. And then after college, I worked a couple of, quote unquote, regular jobs. Non-industry jobs.
I think we all have, yeah.
Yeah, you work for wherever, the insurance company, I don't know, just different things. They were good jobs, but I had a couple of regular jobs, and then I was all the while, pursuing opportunities in the business. I always knew I wanted to be in the entertainment business in some capacity, so I got an opportunity, and I started off as an assistant in PR, and I worked my way up from an assistant through the ranks and to become a vice president and a senior vice president, and all the while working with amazing people and mentors, including one of my mentors, Patty Webster, who founded W&W, the company that I work for. And Patty passed away in 2013, but she was an amazing publicist, an amazing figure and leader in the entertainment business and in the PR business. And then I, have gotten to work with and still do work with amazing clients, amazing artists, actors and actresses, athletes, executives, and the whole 9 yards. And then, through the business, I've got to meet both of you through being a member of the Recording Academy and on the board of the Philadelphia chapter of the Recording Academy. Just, got to know both of you over the years, and we've become great friends. So it's all been a blessing to me. My whole experience professionally and in the business, in the music business and the entertainment business, have been really, really wonderful to me, for me.
It is a journey, isn't it? It's such an amazing journey. And I always tell people, man, this business is hard, but trust me, the people you meet, whether you stay in it or you don't, will be in your life forever, because those are the bonds that you make.
Yeah, and I've met so many great people, and you're right, Steph. I think in some ways, the show business can get a bad rap, and that people will think everybody in show business is no good and there's so many sharks, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, we have heard the stories and experienced some of that too. But then some, artists and creatives, a lot of those are some of the best people you'll meet as well. So I think with everything, there may be some bad characters around, but for the most part, I've had great experiences in this business and have made really great relationships, lifelong relationships.
So if an independent artist came to you and was like, Aliya, I need help, but I don't know what to do. I'm done my EP or I'm done my album, and I have a marketing budget, but I'm not really sure what I should do first. Because I get asked that question a lot. And young people, even people that are more seasoned that maybe got into the industry later, they're right away, they're like, oh, I want to hear my record on the radio. And I'm like, hold on, let's back it up a notch. Let's maybe figure out how we can create a little bit more buzz before we, let's walk before we run here. So what is your advice to artists that are just kind of getting started and they're done music, but they're not quite sure after recording what to do next?
This is where it gets interesting, Steph, because you know, people who are musicians or artists, they have to wear both hats, especially when you're starting out. And everybody doesn't necessarily know that or get that or want to do that because it is a music business. So once you've done the creative part and that's done, you have to make sure that you put on your business hat and that you move forward as a business. So I think one of the most important things is having that sound foundation, you know, making sure your business is well developed. So if you finished recording and you have a product out, then you got to look at, okay, is this the best product? Have I produced the best product I can? If this was a company, is it really ready to go out to the market, to the world? So that's one. I think you want to make sure you have a really good product. I think you also want to have a fan base developed. I think before you go out and say, okay, I'm going to put energy or a strategy behind PR, who am I speaking to? You want to have some fan base. Of course, you want to grow your fan base, but I think you need to have a core fan base and following as a foundation. And then you can look at, okay, now what's the marketing strategy? And not just look at PR, but look at marketing. Like, do I have a budget or can I allocate a budget towards some paid marketing? Promotions, you know, how are we going to promote this? Is it going to be through radio stations? Is it going to be through video promotions? Am I going to do a music video? Am I going to do some sort of lyric video or some other sort of visual to accompany my music? You want to make sure that you have distribution and that there's places where people can actually consume or support your music, right? So those things have to be set up. You can't say publicity, because if you get publicity, you get a great news story, a great article in a paper, or you're on a show, and those who like your stuff and they want to go buy it, you want to make sure that you have that system in place where they can buy it and that is readily available to people. So those are just some of the things. You have to have those foundations. And sometimes as an independent artist, you may not have a big budget or be able to go out and hire a publicist or hire a PR firm. But there's a lot of things that you can do yourself, or if you have a team, you know, those who are close with you and believe in you that can help, you know, you can make sure that you just do the basics, like building a media list of media outlets that you know is a good fit for your genre of music and the audience you're trying to reach. You can build that yourself. Totally. They have a lot of companies that can provide you with media contacts, like a Cision or a Muck Rack, where you have a subscription and then you can access the media contacts for media all around the world. A lot of information is readily available on the internet, on the websites of the various media. You can find contact information. You can call television stations and radio stations and get the contact information for the programming director or for the assignment editors, and then you can send them your music with a press release. You can type up a press release yourself or have someone who is good with words and good with writing do that for you. Anytime you're doing concerts and shows, you can also, again, do a press release or do a media advisory and send that out to the media in the area wherever your show is going to be. Now with AI and ChatGPT and other AI tools that can help you put together your press release very easy. It could even help you write a bio. So those are some of the things that you can do while you're on an independent level. You can really do a lot yourself, because I always say you want to make sure before you hire a publicist that you're ready to hire a publicist, that you're at that level so that you do have distribution in place. You do know that you have a quality record that's been produced really well and mixed and mastered really well, and that it's really professional quality. And then once if you have all those things in place, then I think you are ready to, you know, really publicize it and promote it on a large scale.
100%. Yes. It's like, you gotta be ready. I can't stress that enough. Like, you got to have all the ingredients in place, because so many folks just are like, okay, I had this, I'm just going to blast it all over the internet tomorrow. I got this song, I got, my artwork or whatever. And it's like, there's no plan. And Rich, who's our technical producer, he knows this. I say this every day. You got to have a plan about like everything that you're doing, whether it's promoting yourself or you're trying to do some sort of campaign, or it's like, why are you doing this? Are you ready? So that, I love that you said that, because I feel like artists don't hear that enough, and they have a lot of people coming at them trying to sell them on services when they're not ready, and then they might spend money, and then it's like they spent all this money, and what are they getting out of it afterwards, because they didn't have all their assets in place prior to that. So that is so crucial.
You have to have a plan, Steph, and I always tell artists, you have to think of yourself as a CEO of a company. You are the CEO of your own company. This is your business, and you have to have a vision. And then everyone else around you, your team, should be able to execute your vision, but you have to have the vision. And from a PR perspective, in a marketing perspective, you have to have some idea of how you want to market yourself, how you want to package yourself, how you want to show up publicly, and have some idea of what your story is, what your narrative is, right? Then you should also familiarize yourself with the types of media that is aligned with your brand, so that these are my goals. This is where I want to see myself. This is the magazine I can see myself in. These are the papers, right? And then you also have to build up that following. You should have, again, before you hire a publicist or a PR company, you need to have an audience. Right? Some people may not like to hear that, but you have to lay the foundation and have an audience, and that audience can grow. But start your audience. Make sure you have your social media, and make sure you're consistent with that. That's one of the best tools out there, especially for an independent business or artist. With the social media, you got to have that YouTube. Start building those followers up, those subscribers, so that when you put that video out, you already have
someone's actually watching it.
People who can support it, right? And when you announce that you have a new record coming, then again, people can go and buy it. You're speaking directly to your people, your followers, your community.
I remember this quote that I'm not going to name names, but when I was at RCA Records and someone was sitting down with a young, hopeful artist like 20 years ago, who now she's super huge, kind of from the Philly area, but he said to her, I can only work as hard for you as you want to work for yourself. And even though that was 20 years ago, without all the tools that artists have now, it is still so true.
Yes, it's still so true. And something I also want to add is that it's not just about traditional press. When you think about publicity and a publicity strategy, again, it's all about your story and how you show up in the world. What are you doing in the community? Like what we're doing here tonight, helping to raise money for MusiCares and our fellow creators, in this industry. And that's what people have to remember too. Your community facing side is also a part of your overall PR strategy. So it's never too early in your career to kind of identify causes and organizations that you're passionate about and get involved with them, because that will be important to make sure, especially as you become more successful and more known. It's important to have those relationships with these community organizations and nonprofits, and to use your platforms and your influence to help others. That's a piece of it too.
I mean, that's, hitting on why we actually are here. And I wanted to talk for a second. You and I and Steph built our relationship on the Recording Academy board over the last 7 or 8 years. We've seen what MusiCares can do for people, and that's the function of this whole thing. Like, it's cool that we have a platform and we can talk shit about the music business all day long, but we really want to see some good come out of it. And ultimately, I know that you're preaching that can be a part of somebody's visible brand about who they are, and actually that's a place to start early, because that becomes part of your story early. And people want to do good, right? Like people want to be associated with people that are doing good. And I like that you kind of even tied that into publicity, because I wouldn't have really thought about that. Hey, an artist can align themselves with these organizations, and that can be part of how people see you.
And think about that. Yeah, Mitch, because that can open up doors for you too. If you align yourself with an organization or organizations, and you may donate your services to perform at one of their fundraisers that will, help bring eyes to you. You can, they may be an organization that's going to support you all throughout your career and partner with you on different things, and that will help increase visibility. So I think it's really important to look at that piece and look at that side of it.
Totally. I mean, people want artists who are willing to collaborate and aren't just in it for themselves. So many artists look at it as like, well, this is about me. This is about my craft. This is about my career. But you chose an industry that isn't really all about that, because is it about you or your fans? Is it about you or your community? And I think that gets lost sometime, especially with like young people, because they see like money, they see cars, they see jewelry, they see red carpets, and they're like, oh, I want that. But at the end of the day, they don't realize all the work that needs to go in, that isn't seen, that is more community based and caring about your fans. And as a publicist, is this something that you feel like you have to remind artists sometimes of, like, hey, this is a good opportunity for you, you should do this, when they're saying, oh, I don't want to get into that, like that's not part of my brand, or I don't have time for that? Is that a challenge for you? Do you find like, is it something that you have to really reiterate to artists to kind of drill that home, that this is important and this is only going to help your career, whether you have time for it or not? Like, you should make time for this.
It depends. I've experienced both. In this case, I think there's some people who are very passionate about certain things, and they'll let you know from the beginning, listen, I am very passionate about this cause or this organization, and I want to make sure that I'm doing work with them, or, I want to make sure that I'm giving back. Some others, are more comfortable just with doing their music and they're expressing their creativity. And then you do have to explain to them the value of doing different things. So it all depends. And then some people are, going to be, and this is a strategy too. Some people are going to stay more private, and they just want to lead with the music, and they don't want to show other sides of their lives. Or when they do things, when they do things that are philanthropic, they may want to keep them private because they just want to be known for their music or their art. And that it can be a strategy also.
Sure.
That's worked with a lot of artists throughout the years who are very mysterious and very private.
I mean, I know we have super limited time, but I feel like, as we talk about the music business, we're talking about the public face of an artist, how you're building your brand. And we were bringing up like technology companies and the use of AI. You were even talking about with ChatGPT, which is a super powerful tool, which you can use to make a good PR statement and send out to 1,000 people. You don't have to be as good with words anymore if you're doing it on your own. Now, I don't think it'll ever take the place of someone that's great with words. Like, I've used it for some things, but I always end up editing myself because it's got to speak from my voice, which is what your job is. The right of publicity, right? The new argument with the new deal of AI in the music business, and an artist's right to protect their sound and their public image from being used by these AI companies. Have you seen that in your work as a publicist? There have been issues where, wow, this is affecting someone's public image that they didn't want themselves, that they weren't going to put out themselves, but someone else is using AI to affect their public image. Are you seeing that? Are you fearful that you'll be seeing that at some point? How has AI in tech affected people from a public relations perspective, with or without their input?
Personally, I haven't had to deal with any issues caused any AI issues with any of our clients. However, I have seen it, and we've seen, some very big instances where music was put out under an established artist name, and then we find out that, oh, this was created through AI. We also see that it is very prevalent on YouTube and other social media where people will make videos using people's voices and images, and it's not really them. So I think you have to be very, very careful of that, and that is a concern. There are a lot of positive things about AI, and I think a lot of benefits to using it in business, and it makes things easier. But when you're in a business like ours involving intellectual property, you want to make, you have to be careful about that. You don't want your intellectual property being misused or stolen. You don't want your client's intellectual property or in their name, image, and likeness. So I think, and then even from a consumer standpoint, you have to be vigilant about what you believe is real, because a lot of these things can be very misleading. Yeah, so you want to make sure that whatever you're getting or whatever you're buying, whatever you're supporting, even if it's liking a video or liking a post, you want to make sure it's legitimate. So I think that just comes with technology, just trying to be as tech savvy as you can and keeping up with the times and making sure that things are vetted and that they're legit, so you don't go down the wrong road with something.
You wanna plug MusiCares for us one time here before we gotta let you go?
Well, definitely, everyone, please support MusiCares. It is the nonprofit side of the Recording Academy. The organization supports music makers and creators, music creators who may be experiencing hardships. They provide a bunch of services, including grants and medical services and dental services and hearing support. And we're right now, tonight, we are supporting musicians and music creators who were affected by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. And so please donate if you can. No amount is too small. Donate $5, $10 or more. Yep. Please make a donation. That is the purpose. That's one of the main reasons why we're here tonight. This is great. This show, Asses and Seats, raises money all year round for MusiCares. So please help us by making a donation tonight or today, wherever you are in the world.
That was great. You need to be on the show. You can just plug MusiCares for us every show.
Yeah, let me pop in for that could be my special segment.
Anytime you tune in, you just request to go live. We got you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Click right there, everybody. If you're watching, click on the button in the middle of the screen right underneath Stephanie, and you can go right to MusiCares page and make a donation.
Yes, even $1. It's so quick. Just click the button. That's all you got to do. Help us out today. People need your help.
Yes, they do. And I'll be making a donation when I get off of the live.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this show. We love you. We will see you soon. Take care, and thank you for spreading your knowledge to all these folks who definitely need to hear it. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. So thank you.
Thank you, Steph. This was fun. Thank you, Mitch. Love you both, and keep up the good work. I'll talk to you both soon.